Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome back or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos or all my live feeds, simply take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. Hi there, Aaron. I see you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. I am happy to have you here joining us. I'll give us every a minute or two to pop in. Kayla, I'm really good. I'm a little bit snuffly this morning or sniffly, but I feel 100% fine. So I don't know if it's a little bit of allergy season kicking in early here or what's going on, but it was a wonderful weekend here for me. It's been absolutely glorious at so many levels. I'm talking today about some very interesting energy that's coming in this week. Curious to hear what your thoughts are on this one because it's going to be a very interesting week, and perhaps you've already felt it coming in throughout the weekend. We are coming into a big week of a power, I'll call it an energy power purge kind of week. We've got a lot of releasing that is going to continue. I talked a bit about that last week. Big emotions this week. Don't be surprised if you're feeling a little bit of stuff kind of rumbling out of you, or perhaps the need to cry and you don't know why. We're coming into a bit of a loosen up and a shake up of something that we've been holding on to. And sometimes energetically, we don't even know exactly why we're feeling what we're feeling. It's just we are feeling it. We need to kind of allow it this week and allow some of those energies to flow through us because we're being asked, and as we come into a bit of a reset, just coming into a new space, coming into a healing space, coming into a space of more of allowing. And as we navigate through that, we're going to be having a natural purge or a natural release of some old stuff. It may come at you as emotions, it may come at you as anxiety, it may come at you as some sadness or tears or frustration. However it comes into you at, please just allow yourself to kind of have a moment, have some time to release, giving yourself some gentle understanding, even when you don't understand. It's going to be a week of being a little bit gentle on yourself. Now, it's not all, we kind of, I can hear some of you. Oh, great. I don't like emotions, or I don't really like the feeling of that. As we go through healing, and I've talked about this many times here on the channel, I firmly believe we're always healing something. But sometimes as we chip away at those layers, we kind of come to like this point of where we've been pushing everything down. We kind of hit it. We hit that raw point. We hit that deep space where some things that it's been years that they've been down there. We kind of hit that, and this is coming in this week, and it's about taking action. The universe is saying, okay, you've done all this work on yourselves, one more big push and release, because new and a different energy is going to be served up to us in a very unique way coming into March and April. Now, what happens when we go through a lot of emotions sometimes is, I'm going to call it the monkey mind, the overthinking, the getting up here and not being able to kind of shift out of it, or allow us to have that space to go a little bit into that trust, into that allowing. We are moving into that with, and I'm going to call it like a new age energy that's coming, but we are coming into a big shift energetically as we push through the spring. And I'm very excited for the spring energy with all this newness that's coming into us. We're still making some room. We're still kind of clearing out and doing some, that personal spring cleaning, or that purge of energy. And we are going to, many of us, and perhaps you're already feeling it now, we are coming into that step up, or we're coming into a bit of and I'll use this very lovingly, this rude awakening of I've been doing it this way and it's not working. I've been doing it this way, or I've been doing it that way, and it's just saying it's time to shift that. We don't have to wash, rinse, repeat everything. So energy this week is going to be showing us that a little bit of ownership and responsibility. You are not powerless. You are regaining your power. And I think sometimes we kind of forget that sometimes we may feel powerless, but we can be regaining that. We're regaining that power, our own personal power, our own ability to tap in there and shift. taking our own power back can be confronting times internally. It can come up with, confronting ourselves with, okay, I've been kind of feeding too much of my monkey brain that I'm powerless, or feeding too much of that I'm not good enough, or feeding too much that I've messed things up. There's going to be a big shift into this. The healing is coming in at us at a loud and proud, I'll use the word a speed or rate. It's coming in. So as we navigate through a lot of these emotions, give yourself a little bit of TLC with that. We can become a little bit frustrated with ourselves. Thoughts like, I should be over this by now. I should be able to go forward from this by now. I should be able to, and it's because you've hit that space where you've been pushing it all down and pushing it all down, that's been preventing you to be able to say, okay, I got to straighten up here. I gotta own this, regain my power, and forward momentum I go. The closer that we get into March and April, the louder this is going to get for some of us. Now, what I'm saying may not affect everybody, and I'm always very clear with that with these energy updates. Perhaps you went through this, a few months ago, or perhaps you're on the other side of it already. And it's also to remind you, if you've already been through some of this, sometimes we forget that other people are also going through their own awareness, their own taking responsibility and taking ownership and growing forward. They're going through their own emotions and processes. And sometimes, people around us may be having moments where they're stepping back and or just need some space. Just kind of hold people in love and light. If you're not personally going through it, but you're seeing other people's anxiety really high or emotions really high, we're going to have to be patient with people. And that's the other thing. We're going to have to patiently love people because as they go through their own transformation and as they go through their own, hey, I'm not powerless here. I'm stepping into my power. If you're struggling a little bit with anxiety, if you're struggling a little bit with, with that feeling of heaviness, try a few things. Try and lighten up a little bit. Grounding work does help, becoming more grounded, connecting with the earth, but also becoming lighter. So, just giving ourselves that carefree time, that time to be either, in the forest, or watching the clouds float by, or just listening to some music. We've got to lighten up sometimes. Sometimes we can go into a little bit, and I'll say this or describe it the best way I can. We can, if we stay in that real heavy space and we try to like anchor in the heaviness, we need to lighten up sometimes. And that will also help with that monkey brain. How you talk to yourself is going to be extremely important this week. If you're going through a lot of emotions, and if you're going through a little bit of being hard on yourself, you're going to have to talk to yourself like you would talk to a best friend. What would you say to your bestie if they came to you with, with these heavy feelings, or not being being really hard on themselves, or letting go of all these emotions? Talk to yourself like you would your besties. Give yourself that same advice. Hold yourself in that same space. The emotions this week are going to be a little bit turbulent. So if you're feeling them, if you're coming into that space of that hitting that raw, that deep space where you've been pushing everything down, it's time to acknowledge it and let it go. Sometimes just simply acknowledging it will be enough as well. Yeah. I didn't do great with that, but I'm moving forward. Or yeah, that was really hard. I need to allow myself to lighten up a little bit. All right. Let us scroll through some questions here. I don't have a lot of time this morning, but I do have a little bit. How was hockey? Hockey was wonderful. It was a beautiful week, a beautiful weekend of just enjoying. Bubbles, my anxiety has been going through the roof since this weekend. Some of it has no particular reason either. Allowing that bubbles to flow. There's Fran. Hi, Fran. Especially now because I'm waiting for a call and it's taking forever, and I have huge fears around calling. Bubbles, with the allowing space, when we just kind of allow, it's going to be what it needs to be. If this call is going to bring you into a new place, or a place where you can let more go, or a place of healing, we are going to be coming into confronting and taking a little bit of ownership this week. So owning what you're doing as well, owning the good stuff that you're trying to do, taking ownership of your own growth. I've been working really hard on my growth. Those are kinds of things that you're going to say. And as we work on our healing, things do bubble up, and we do do have a lot of fears that we're working through. Okay, where else are we going? Aaron, emotions have been big enough. I'm ready for the part that comes after. Aaron, 100%. So, with being ready, tapping into new things, tapping into new spiritual practices, tapping into reading a new book, tapping into, allowing whatever else needs to go. Look at it this way: if you were to do some dusting around the house or some spring cleaning or some purging around the house, and you came to a shelf that had a lot of dust on it, or a lot of junk on it that needed to be cleared off, quite often we tackle that. We don't just kind of like leave it, oh, I'll get that next spring, because the layers are going to be even thicker next spring. So if you come up to a place within yourself that has some spring cleaning to do, the best thing to do is tackle it. And if you're not quite sure why it's there, allow it to move through you. Get yourself outside and get breathing. You are not powerless. You are regaining your power. I hope that those words really help you there. So I'm a huge ball of anxiety now. I've been on the verge of tears for some time. Allow yourself to have that day. Or that moment or that second. Allow yourself to have a release. Quite often our emotions are key indicators as to what we need to release and let go. All right. Anxiety, does come from a lot of burying. It can come from a lot of fear. It can come from a lot of programming. To kind of allow yourself to take your power back around that, Bubbles. I hope that helps you. Yep, raw point in my house for sure. Yeah, raw for many this week. It's going to be raw. Um can bad headaches be part of this too? I had one yesterday. Absolutely. Especially with the holding, Tabitha. When we're holding on to energy, it can affect our physical body. It can affect our head, our shoulders, our stomach. Quite often, where we hold energy, we do feel it in our physical body as well. I like the idea of taking a personal spring cleaning emotions. It is a great way to look at it. Because sometimes and here's how I kind of look at it. Sometimes we're so afraid to look at our emotions, and there's many different reasons. Sometimes we're just simply not taught. We're not taught how to share, or we're not good with vulnerability, or we think we have to bury it, and here's something that comes up a lot too. And I struggle with this phrase, just let it go. Sometimes we can't just let it go. Sometimes we have to process it and work on it before we can let it go. And I think sometimes we often will miss that step, or there can be, too much. I want to say this very lovingly. There can be too much positivity with some things. Sometimes we just can't just let it go. We need to work through it. We need to process it. We need to, in order to let it go, we have to watch it move, right? So, some of us just can't let it go without processing it and moving through it and taking back our power with what we're letting go. I think sometimes we lean too far the other way, right? With spirituality and positivity. I think we can lean too far too far, just let it go. Well, some of us can't just let it go, right? And I think some of you have all been there. I've been there myself over time. I just can't let that go yet. I'm not ready to let that go yet. I haven't processed it enough. I haven't done the healing work with it. There's that whole space that within us too. Amelia, feeling of being a failure have stuck in sorry, Amelia, I'm having trouble this morning seeing. Feelings of being a failure have snuck back in. This makes sense now. Also healed some breakup stuff too, very randomly and unexpectedly on the weekend. Well done, you. Well done, you, with the healing. Healing is such a process, and there are times where we think we've healed it, but there are maybe moments where you push something down and it's been sitting there for a little bit, and then all of a sudden something triggers the feeling of being a failure. One thing that I just want to kind of lean into that word a little bit is I truly don't believe that we may 100% fail. I've learned some lessons. It may have been difficult, but I really believe that we are always where we need to be in order to get into the next step, or into a different direction. Kind of look at it as stepping stones. If something didn't go very well, look at it as a stepping stone, as if you're crossing a little river or a path, and it's the next stepping stone that's going to platform you into the next step, then the next adventure, the next part of your life. We're always where we need to be with the learning. I'm learning this right right now, or I'm having a hard time learning this right now. Be a little bit more gentle there with yourself, Amelia. I really feel that this stuff that you're navigating through is going to be a big leap to where you're where the next adventure lies for you. I hope that that helps there. Mila, do my spirit guides and angels hear me talking to them? I believe that they hear me. I'm just wondering if they have any messages for me. I also hear the name Molly. Maybe it's on my guide's name. I always say trust what you hear. If you're hearing the name Molly, trust it. Do our spirit guides and our angels hear us? Absolutely. They hear us all the time. The more we talk to them, the closer the connection that we build with them. It's angels and guides 101. So when we kind of lean in there with continuing to communicate, continuing with our learning, knowing that they're there to support, the more we lean in there, the greater the connection. So well done there, Mila. Um I'm just fed up with all my constant anxiety about everything. I've been I've been the entire weekend, but I know I have to feel it and it sucks. It does suck. Sometimes it does suck. You know what, Bubbles? You're 100% right. It does suck at times. And I think one thing that you can do is softly and gently remind yourself, I'm learning how to move forward. I'm learning how to move forward. And every now and again, what'll often help is when you reflect back and take a look at all the steps that you have taken, the steps that you have taken, the healing that you have done. That gives us a little bit of a reminder that you are able to take back your personal power. All right. Um, Regaining my power is to take it back from others. Taking our power back from others, that often is inserting boundaries. That is often taking a look to at where we tripped, or where we did some allowing. Boundaries are a difficult one, Erin. 100% they're a difficult one. I always go at them very lovingly and very gently, both with myself and with other people. For the most part, not always, but for the most part, I do believe that other people are also working through their own stuff, and their intentions are not always to harm. Sometimes they are, I get that, but not always. Is there a way to stop the commercials? I'm not, they don't pop up here anymore. I will take a look at my YouTube settings and see why they are running through. I used to get a notification pop up that said that YouTube's going to run a commercial. Do I want to skip it? I don't get it now. So I'm going to have to take a look at my settings and see why. But thanks for bringing that to my attention, Jules. I appreciate that. PJ, Lana, the other night I gave my cat Linus a time out in his cage. Who or what let him out? Was it one of my guides? He doesn't have thumbs, so I know it wasn't him. Oh, I love that, PJ. I think energetically he was able to let himself out. I also feel that in he was showing you that he had learned a lesson. I feel like he let himself out energetically. I It's almost like he was able to manipulate the cage door himself. Very interesting though. I'm learning to love my brother at a distance, but just grieving the loss of family connection. Let me have a little sip here of my tea on that one, Dee Dee, while I process it. I think when you look at it, the connection has changed and perhaps it needs to change in order to grow in a different direction. Sometimes, things we may perceive things as a loss when they needed to change for both people. In order for both of you to grow, sometimes we need distance. Sometimes we need a reset. Sometimes relationships change and connect differently. I feel that if you can look at what's good in this relationship and build from that, I feel that that's what you kind of need to lean into from there. I also visualize, the door of healing always open for both myself or for other people. That if people want to meet me in a very healed space, that door is open. And I visualize that during my meditations, or I just tell myself, if they ever want to walk back through, the door of healing is open. But there are certain boundaries that I firmly set there. Um, but I feel with the process, Dee Dee, and allowing the door of healing to be open. I think that is a beautiful space to be in. The night of the full moon, I was in between sleeping and awake. I knew my surroundings, but as I closed my eyes, I was traveling through a tunnel with people waving. Oh, I love that. And waving at only saw shapes of people waving. Diane, that is quite profound. Diane, I want to know if you had any feelings of who these people were that were waving. Did it have anything familiar to any familiar feeling or any deep knowing? That Diane is a connection to another dimension. So that is quite profound. Lana, just before you started, I put a note of a protection on my door. Well done, Wes. Um, I said hello. It was wonderful. That's well done, Diane. That's awesome. Wesley, the ads are part of YouTube's monetization feature where you'd get a cut. Yeah, I'm aware of what the monetization is. Wes, thanks. They just didn't always pop up randomly on their own, so there has to be some changes. I used to be able to skip them. I just got a foster dog named Emmett. He's an older dog, and I feel weirdly connected to him. Any insight from spirit from him, and any messages from him? I really feel when I tap into that with that dog, I really feel that you're both in each other's lives to help each other heal. I also feel this dog has been part of your journey in a previous lifetime. There is a past life connection here, absolutely. But I feel like you both have healing work to do that you're going to help each other with. And I really feel that this dog is bringing you this unconditional friendship, this unconditional safety, this unconditional space of I can say whatever I need to say or feel whatever I need to feel, and there's going to be a natural understanding. I hope that that helps you there. Donna, hi Lana. On the last live, you told me that a woman in spirit said, "Thank you for being my friend." Does her name begin with H? If that resonates with you, Donna, I always say feel into it. If it resonates with you, when I tap back, it's hard for me to exactly tap back into something else that I previously channeled. But when I lean in there, again, when you ask that question with the H, I see the thank you card reference coming across my awareness here. So that would be a yes if that resonates there. Um uh, have been having strange dreams, and last night felt someone slap my foot. Um I chuckle a little bit like that because as I'm reading it, I hear you need to get moving. I need to get you to move your feet. And so, has there been something that you've been um, holding back on or procrastinating on? I feel like I've got to get your feet taking a step forward on. I feel like I've got to get you moving your feet. Head into the direction. Head into going forward. It's the forward momentum for me there. Um, all right, there we go. Sorry, my mouse got stuck. Donnie, you're very welcome. Let me see where I need to go here. I'm just gonna go back up. I must have missed a part of the chat. Joe Smith had a very distressing incident with spirit. My sleep pattern is out of whack, so I'm exhausted. I fell asleep on the toilet. It's been happening frequently. I was suddenly jolted awake. All right, so Joe Smith, I need a little bit more about had a very distressing incident with spirit. My sleep pattern is out of whack, so I'm exhausted. I fell asleep on the toilet. It's been happening frequently. Um, Usually, Joe, incidents with spirit are not usually distressing. If you're feeling something distressing, my question is are they trying to show you something? Has there been something that you've been kind of navigating through or questioning? Quite often they will try to show you something. I just need a little bit more information on the distressing incident. Um because I'm just not quite understanding that. So I'll give you a second to answer that. Jolie, my question is what is next? Okay, let me just scroll back up. I'm not quite sure what you mean. What is next, Jolene? I'll see if I can find if you've asked me something yet. I don't see a question here on the screen, Jolene, so I'm not quite sure what you're asking with what is next. I'm just gonna wait for a couple people to add to their Aaron, Lana, Joe Smith put more. It's like, oh, okay, let me go up here. Something's really weird at the chat because I'm just not seeing it. Oh, here we go. Okay. So what I would do is, I would do a really good smudge. Um, you can burn whatever resonates with you, either sage or Palo Santo. A candle will work, opening a window. I would be removing a lot of energy. I would also fill the space up with glorious light, with beautiful white light. I would be calling forward spirit guides. I also would be closing off. Like, I'm not open to receive any of that. It's not welcome here. And I'm very clear. Now, do I get spirit activity? Yes. Is it get quite playful? Yes. Have there been times where I could hear spirits running around upstairs? Absolutely. But it's very playful energy, and I'm okay with that. But I am closed, very closed. The door is closed very hard to anything that's not of light, or anything that is going to be distracting or disturbing. So what you can do is close the door. So literally grab a door and say, I'm closed to receiving anything that is unsettling, or anything that is going to be interruptive, or anything that's going to be disturbing my sleep. Um, Spirit has not woken me up in a very long time. They used to wake me up quite often to chat, because that's when my mind was quiet. When I started making time during the waking hours in meditation or automatic writing, they had the opportunity to chit chat with me while I was awake. They're not allowed to wake me up to chit chat. They have me all day when I'm working, and when I'm not working, I kind of disconnect a little bit so that I can be human and function without spirit constantly in my ear. I don't feel dark and heavy here, though, Joe. I've leaned into this quite a bit. It's been happening frequently. I was suddenly jolted awake by stuff flying around the room. I was hit by a spray cleaner bottle. Who is it, and what is their message? All right, I'm just having a lean in there, Joe. I don't feel bad with it. I really don't. If you're concerned, do a great big smudge. Put some selenite in your room. I don't feel bad with it. So um I just want to lean into the message here, Joe. So, Joe, have you been so here we go. Have you been I'm gonna try and word it on how they're showing it to me. Have you been on the edge on of growing spiritually at a new level? Being able to connect differently with spirit. Have you been kind of on the edge with that, with thoughts of, what if I can't, or what if it's not right, or what if it's dark, or what if, have you had a lot of what ifs, and has your spiritual senses heightened? Have you had more deeper connections with your intuition? Have you had more gut feelings? Because I feel it a bit differently than what you're describing it. I feel like they're saying, hey, we're here. Hey, we're trying to get your attention, and you're not kind of connecting with it. I don't feel it dark at all. I feel it more of, we're here and you've been asking and we're trying to work with you, but it's kind of like, I don't know where I am with this, with all of this. Does that make sense to you, Joe? I'll give you a second to answer that. I don't feel it bad or negative. I don't feel it dark. I can't lean in. I can't change that. It's They're telling me a hard no on that. But again, if you feel you need to do a really good smudge, I do a really good smudge anyway, just with energy, because we all bring energy home, and I've talked about that before. Um, I don't feel it negative. So, and I can't move that. What they're saying is, hey, we're here, hey, we're here. And I also feel like a big part of you's been asking for more connection, but you're kind of like in and out. And that's okay to be in and out. But what they're responding is, hey, we're here, hey, we're here, hey, we're here. It's almost like, here, I'm gonna put it to you this way. If you were to say to me, Lana, come on over when you're in the neighborhood. And let's say every time we spoke, you said, Lana, come on over. If you want to come over for tea, come on over. So then I say, okay, I'm in Joe's neighborhood. I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna knock on the door, and your car's there. Um, but you don't open the door. I'm gonna keep knocking. I feel it's that way. I feel like you've been kind of like asking for spirit guides, asking for direction, and they're like, "Hey, we're here. Hey, we're here." That's how I'm feeling it. I hope that that resonates there with you, Joe Smith. If it doesn't, do a really good smudge. Open up the windows and close yourself off from opening up to anything. Jolene, is there any messages from anyone for me today? Thank you so much loss, so much bad news. Just asking what is next, anything uplifting. Thank you, Jolene, for clarifying that. Sometimes the questions fly. so quickly, and I don't always see them. And when I scroll back, either I don't scroll back far enough, or I miss them altogether. Jolene, I feel, oh, I'm pulling together. I feel like a unity. I feel like people coming close and supporting each other. I feel that with that energy and with that healing, I do feel things getting a lot lighter. But I do feel that the grieving and the moving forward, I feel it as it's almost like everyone is working together, and I love that. Sometimes we need to kind of have our own private moments with that, and sometimes we need to do it as a family or as a group. I do feel things lightening. I do feel things healing. But I also feel that I've got to just shift a little bit more with allowing emotions, allowing things in, allowing things to come closer. I just feel like I have to get that allowing. I also feel like I've got to lift off fear. So I don't know if you've been having a lot of fear of who's leaving here next, or what's happening next. I feel like I'm kind of sitting in that just a little bit too much, and I need to kind of sit in the more of right now we're good. Right now we're okay. I just feel like I have to soften that a little bit for you. I hope that that helps. Um Mandy, yesterday I was doing a meditation in my self-reflection healing course, and it was about compassion and self-forgiveness. So saw many faces again. These were me. Too many changes, too many versions of me. I do love that, Mandy. We do have many versions of ourselves, and there are things that we have never forgiven ourselves for. And I always say to myself, from that version of me, when it comes to many versions of ourselves, that version of me, with what she knew, was doing the best that she could. And that is a big help when it comes to healing those broken pieces, or those different versions of yourselves. I mean, it is one of the hardest things to do, is to be able to forgive ourselves, right? It's a hard one. um let's see here. I do got to be mindful of the time, you guys. I got to get going soon. And Mandeep, hi, Lan. I just wanted to thank you the other day about the message from my mother. I needed that the other day. Really grateful for you. God bless you. You're very welcome, and blessings to you. Um, I missed quite a bit of the chat here. I'm just trying to catch it all. Bubbles, the night of the full moon, our smoke alarm went off in the middle of the night. Sometimes spirit activity, I just want to kind of tap into that a little bit, okay? Sometimes spirit activity, when spirit's trying to get our attention, they do always try the more subtle things first. And sometimes either we don't catch it, and that's okay, or we overthink it, oh, it was just a bird, or it was just this, or it was just a dream. And they'll turn up the volume. They'll turn up the volume to get our attention. So when spirit turns up the volume, what I always say to people is, think about for a moment, have you been trying to connect with them? Have you been asking spirit guides for help? Have you been asking your deceased loved ones for help? Have you been talking with them? Have you been thinking about them? Have you been in that space? Because when we ask, the answer does not always come as a voice. It doesn't always come as a handwritten letter from the spirit dimensions. We often will miss the subtle signs. We'll often miss the touch, or we'll miss the soft signs. So then spirit says, well, you've been asking to hear from me, so I'm going to turn up the volume. The smoke alarm, or something will fall, and then we get into this fear. Whoa, something dark has come in. Always go back to, what have I been thinking about? Who have I been thinking about? Have I been communicating with them? And is this an answer to what I've been asking for? Have I been asking for a sign? How many of you will say, show me a sign, show me a sign, show me a sign? And then, spirit does show us signs, but we're human, and sometimes we forget them. I've missed them. And spirit has said to me, well, I showed you here, and I showed you here, and I showed you here, and you missed it. So now we're showing you really loud. And that's exactly how it will work sometimes. I really, really really believe, and if this resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, leave it here. I'm perfectly okay with that. Unless you are calling in and working in darkness, it's spirit trying to reach you from love and light. It's your spirit guides, your loved ones trying to say, I'm here. So always ask yourself, have I been chit chatting with my guides? There have been times, spirit, I've said to spirit, why didn't you show me that? And they're like, oh, wait a minute, we did. Here, here, here. And I was like, oh, I missed that. Missed that red flag, or I missed that. And it's okay. They just turn it up. All right. Okay, here we go. Sounds like they were trying to get your attention. Absolutely, Spring. Absolutely. I'm definitely also not open to anything that's not of light and love. It's not welcome here. Yeah, it's all intention. Absolutely intention. Um, Aaron, hey, can we all send healing energy to Bubbles and Cheyenne? Her anxiety is holding on tight. Let us take a moment to send some healing energy to everybody that's here. Before I go, you guys want to do a little energy healing session here? Let me do the spirit animal book first, and then we will just collectively do a little meditation to send some healing energy to all of us. And we'll do a little bit to the universe too. Sound good? All right, let's get this done because I really like the animal communication book. Let's just set our intentions on what the group needs to hear collectively from the spirit animal world. Raccoon, in spite of any doubts you may have, the resources you need for the current situation are readily available. There has been some sort of deception going on around you that you can discern by listening and trusting your intuition. Rather than being goal orientated, this is a time for indulging your curiosity with open ended exploration. Pay close attention to signs and omens that suggest you're getting messages. Ha! That suggest you're getting messages from your ancestors or deceased loved ones. It's important to remain emotionally and mentally flexible for the next few days as events will require you to adapt to rapidly changing circumstances. Oh, I love that so much. I love that so much. All right. Let's do a little meditation. You can keep your eyes open or closed. I usually tend to close my eyes. So if my head tilts back, the visual when you're on the replay may not be great, but that's okay. Um, and I'll give you a moment to kind of get settled in. And just for a moment, let's just focus on our breath and soften our physical body. Just give yourself permission to breathe and let go of any tensions or worries. And just feeling your feet so firmly planted on the earth, feeling connected and grounded and loved. And now visualize or simply know that you are breathing in divine, beautiful, healing white light on every in breath. Every in breath, breathing in white light and allowing this light to flow through you. And allowing that light to touch every cell and every fiber of your physical body with healing and love. Every inhale, beautiful white light. And now on the exhale, just simply releasing and purging any old energy that you need to let go of. Inhaling white light and a release on the exhale. And just following that pattern of breathing in white light and purging on the exhale. And now your entire physical body is filled with beautiful, healing white light. And just simply feel that and know that. My body is filled with healing white light. And now visualize or simply know, just tell yourself the people here are holding hands, forming a circle, a beautiful healing circle. Now calling forward angels and guides and spirit animals, higher energies, source energy. And you can call forward any energy of the light to join us in healing. Allow them to be here. And allowing that healing energy to flow through our circle. And wherever you need healing, ask for it and allow that healing energy. And as you ask, sending healing energy out to others in the circle, asking for healing energy and sending healing energy. And now visualizing our circle expanding even more with others joining our healing session. Anyone who needs healing is welcome to join our circle. And now visualizing our circle expanding around the earth. And all that healing energy surrounding the earth with it. Wherever the earth needs healing, and this beautiful healing circle is always here for you. You are always supported, loved, and guided. And thanking angels and guides and higher ascended masters and all who joined us here today with some gratitude flowing through. And thanking yourself for opening up and thanking those who joined us, our friends here on the channel. Now bringing your awareness to your feet on the floor, feeling so grounded and connected to Mother Earth, and feeling your physical body. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and coming all the way back. Very good. I hope that you enjoyed your session here this morning with me. Healing energy is always available to us to tap into. I feel so calm, says Kayla. Lana, that was just right. Thank you. You're welcome, Erin. Visualizing a tree close by, grounding is so therapeutic. Absolutely. And every single one of you can do that. Every single one of you are healers. You don't need a big script. You don't need, you don't need to um, have a plan. You can simply sit and connect with the tree or the sky or the moon, whatever you resonate with, surrounding yourself with love and light and sending it out. It's not so much the words that are used as the energy, right? Just I'm visualizing love going to whoever needs it. I like to call forward spirit to help me. I'm very connected to guides. It's the most loving energy. I'm very open to all the help that I can get. So just simply calling forward spirit, angels and guides, please help me, or source energy, whatever source energy means to you, whatever word or whatever god or goddess that that you resonate there with, asking for some help. It is a very calming feeling, and it's wonderful. Every single one of you are healers, right? So always remember that. I remember that so strongly. I love the idea of that. Absolutely. Absolutely. We get too caught up that, it takes this course or that course, or you have to have that title or this title. You just have to have love in your heart. That's all you truly need is love in your heart that you're willing to share. That's what healing is, right? So always remember, you are a healer. Happy Monday. What a beautiful start to the week, being able to do, a healing session here. Thank you for suggesting it, and thank you for being open to receive that. If you enjoyed your time with me, a thumbs up is always appreciated. Have a wonderful week. I should be here on Wednesday, I think. The power of now, I got to take a look. I never know. Let me take a quick look before I say that. Yes, I will be here Wednesday morning. Um, as always, I'm wishing you love, light, blessings, and have a spirit guided day. Take care, you guys.